Husbands, mental load. Let's talk about it. Okay, this is something that actually pertains not only to life, but definitely to menopause. When your wife's capacity to handle, quite honestly, the bullshit that she's been handling for a long period of time, where she's been expected to do everything for everyone around her, and now she feels like she has to prioritize herself because her entire body and mind is changing in menopause. This is the mental load that she is dealing with, because on top of all of these symptoms of perimenopause and menopause, your wife is also likely still doing a lot of things around the house, still caring for the kids, still caring for her elderly parents, maybe yours as well. This is normal. The same thing happened with me and my wife. Here's the advice. You know what needs to be done around the house, and it's not hard for you to do a lot to make a huge difference for not only your wife and everything that she's going through, but also for your relationship. So let's talk about this for a second. Let's take a whole step back and talk about how did we even get here. When your wife was born, she was born with 1 to 2 million eggs in her ovaries. And by the time she hits puberty, it's 300 to 500,000. And she starts to lose more and more and more of these every single year at an increasingly faster rate, to the point where she hits what's called menopause. Menopause is actually 1 day, 12 months past her last period. But prior to that is perimenopause. And perimenopause can start in her early 30s and last all the way till menopause. And then after menopause, the very next day, postmenopause. All right, let's talk symptoms for a second, because you're seeing this, right? You're seeing this in your wife. You're seeing the fact that she's moody. She's got mood swings that you maybe used to see more predictably every single month during her period, and now they're unpredictable. You don't know when she's gonna snap at you or be moody or even have maybe a rage episode. And to be honest with you, this is out of her control. You think that she's changed. She's changing, but she's still the woman that you love. She's still the woman that you married, that you fell in love with. She still wants to be herself, but she's struggling right now. She's struggling because she's losing hormones. She's losing estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. The reason why that's important for you to understand is that estrogen's like a warm blanket for women. This is the hormone that just keeps everything okay, right? And when she starts to lose it, there's a whole host of things that are going to happen, and these are going to pile on top of all those other things we talked about that she's already doing and has been doing. And that's the mental load. This is what you need to relieve, but you need to understand what she's going through in order to understand how to relieve it. So estrogen affects the area of the brain that regulates mood. Simply put, the mood swings are happening that are out of her control because her brain physiologically is changing, and estrogen is also affecting the areas of the brain for decision making and focus, concentration. So she's having a hard time just even thinking like she used to. Estrogen also happens to affect the area of the brain that regulates temperature. I'm sure you've seen the hot flashes. And for my wife, at least so far, it's not hot flashes that some women have described as burning lava, trying to get out of their chest. But for me, it would be something more like I'll roll over in the middle of the night. Maybe I'll put my hand on her arm, and it's hot. Her body temperature, her skin temperature, her body temperature stays the same. That's the interesting part. But her skin temperature can go up by 2 degrees. It's like she has a fever across her entire body. And my wife will be laying there with the covers off, even though I'm fully curled up, and I'm just comfortable, if not maybe cool, under all those covers, and she has none of them. So is it a hot flash? Is it night sweats? Maybe not yet. Maybe not to that degree. But it's discomfort. It's a difficulty regulating temperature. That's part of estrogen. Estrogen's a natural lubricant in the body. So how's that going to affect her? Well, her joints are going to start to lock up because they're not going to be as lubricated anymore as she loses that estrogen. By the way, did I mention that by the time she hits menopause, she's lost 99 or over 99% of the amount of estrogen she had in her body when she was 25? poof, gone. And estrogen is has done all of these things for her. Gone. So, mood, temperature, lubrication, joints get locked up. She can get something called frozen shoulder. That can last 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years. Excruciating pain. Literally, women can't strap their bras behind their back because it's so locked up. And then estrogen's a natural lubricant in the body. So she has dry vagina, which means sex actually hurts. And I haven't even gotten to the point that estrogen, losing that hormone, also affects, in conjunction with testosterone, affects her libido. So that's going down, which means she's less interested in sex, but it's not about you. It's about what's physiologically and biologically happening in her body. That's just estrogen. Progesterone is the calming hormone. So you're noticing that her stress response is different. You know, she can get triggered more easily. Yeah. That's also because she's losing these hormones. You think she asked for this? I mean, you know that she didn't, right? Do you know that she wasn't prepared for it? Do you know that doctors are actually not trained to support her on it? Fact. Her mom didn't talk to her about this. Largely, women are suffering in silence. 20% have clinically depressive symptoms. 10% even have suicidal thoughts because of how difficult these symptoms are. And this lasts for years. So how do you deal with the mental load? The mental load she was already carrying as a woman, now compiled on top of everything I just said, and I haven't even named them all. That's what her life is like, starting as soon as her early 30s. Yeah, you don't know about that. I didn't know about it. But it's happening right in front of you in your house. And women are so sadly conditioned to just work through pain and to keep trudging ahead and to do what's expected of them, that she's probably not even telling you how much she's suffering, how bad it hurts, how bad she misses herself, how bad she wants that self back, how bad she wants you to support her, to educate yourself about this. So what can you do? To be honest with you, it doesn't take a lot. Women aren't asking that much. They should be asking for more. But I'll tell you what you can do. You can walk into the kitchen and you can see the dishes on the counter and you can put them away. And you can get the little spray bottle out from under the sink and you can spray down the counter and wipe them down and just make it clean. You could vacuum. You could make sure that coffee's ready in the morning. You can take the dog for a walk because she's tired, because one of the symptoms of losing estrogen and progesterone, by the way, is a lack of sleep. So she's tired, especially if she's still working a full-time job. You know that she could have hot flashes during the day at work, in presentations, while talking to people like her boss. Yeah, that's real. So do you think you can walk the dog? Do you think you can wipe down the counter? Do you think you can make dinner? Make it with her. Does she still do your laundry? Why don't you try doing that? If you don't know how to fold clothes, which honestly, I'm not casting judgment, you might not. I learned how to fold clothes because I worked at the Gap when I was in high school. Full admission. And I got pretty good at it. But do you know how much mental load you can release from your wife, if you aren't already, by just grabbing those laundry baskets, putting football on? I like to stand at the edge of my bed. You know, it's more comfortable. Put the basket, kind of off to the side here, straighten out the sheets, grab the clothes, fold them into little piles while I'm just watching TV. Those are the things that you can do. Those are a few things that you can do. Is she still doing the shopping? Do you ever stop by Target? What if you texted her and said, hey, I'm here, what can I get you? Do you ever think on your way home, hey, would it be helpful if I picked up dinner? I mean, do you get my point? It's not big. I'm not asking you to build a house. Just do some of these things. Understand the mental load that your wife is carrying, was carrying, and now is carrying on top of all of these other symptoms of perimenopause and menopause. You can't fix those. You can't change those. She can have conversations with her doctor about how to do that, but you can do a lot. You can do a lot.